Hey guys, it's Somber Shadow 001, back at it again with the video games, and back at it again with Destiny 2. So, this is this is in response to the last video I made about Lightfall, and I want to start this video off by apologizing. That video, or at least my emotions in that video, got way out of hand. It was still my disappointment was very was at its peak when I made that video, and I became very angry. Started kind of yelling and rambling, and I apologize for that. I do. It's just I'm very passionate about this game, and I shouldn't have let it get to me that much, because it is, at the end of the day, just a video game. And I do apologize for just me going off. I still have my problems with it. Don't get me wrong, but having time to have thought about it, and having now been doing and finishing the post campaign, it is better. The post campaign does help to answer questions. Again, it doesn't answer the two major questions that people had, which was their complaint, which was what is the veil, and what did the witness do at the end of Lightfall. It doesn't answer those questions, but Bungie responded to everyone's feedback, and that will be answered throughout the seasonal content throughout the throughout the year, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think they should have answered at least some of those questions, kept some stuff a mystery, but that's just me. Yeah, and I will say the post campaign is significantly better than the overall story of Lightfall. Some of the stuff in the post campaign I think should have been in the expansion, the main expansion itself. But yeah, what is the post campaign about? If you guys don't know, well, the post campaign goes more into the Cloud Striders and kind of the overall culture of Neomuna. You actually end up learning quite a bit about the Cloud Striders and who they are and why they are the way they are, and it actually helps to answer some questions regarding some of the characterization and writing choices that they did for Nimbus, specifically the part in the game during No Time Left where Rohan dies. We also see kind of a full circle kind of moment with that. Yeah, and I will say I kind of understand a little bit better. If they had conveyed that, I think, in the main campaign, I feel like so many people wouldn't have as big of an issue with Nimbus as they do right now. I still don't like Nimbus's dialogue. I still hate that ending cutscene of us having killed Callus and him being like, "Wow, the bigger they are, the uglier the fall," right? And trying to fist bump Keitel. You definitely could have done without that. But it does answer the question of why it seemed like Rohan's death didn't really affect Nimbus too much. And they go into the fact that it's pretty common, besides, it's pretty common for Cloud Striders to die, but we already knew in the story that they only have 10 years to live. Once they go through the modification to become a Cloud Strider, they shorten their life to 10 years. And we know Rohan was entering the 10th year of his. But they go into the fact of why Nimbus wasn't too broken up about it, but they don't discount the fact that he's still kind of struggling with the fact that Rohan isn't around, and he has no one to really guide him anymore, and he's got to step up now, because he's the lone Cloud Strider. There's no one else, because a lot of the other Cloud Striders have already died. But they And the way it comes back full circle to No Time Left is when Rohan died and Nibus asked us to take his core. It turns out that the core is part of their funeral ritual, in that they go to the Hall of Heroes and they place the core into the ground. There's like a special place for them, and it creates a Cloudstrider server, and it has all of their information, all of their tactics. Basically, think like their mind is uploaded into this like mass information network, and you could visit these different graves to get insight about who they were and advice. And I thought that was really interesting and really, really cool. They even go into the fact of what the pukas are for, which were the weird Neptune fish. Remember how they said we were going to find stuff about that, and we never did in Lightfall? Well, they talk about it here, and we find out that they actually respond to people's emotions. And they're actually basically emotional support animals. And they're for Cloudstriders because it's them dealing with the fact that, okay, I die in 10 years. How do I live with that? And they feed off emotions and help with that. And it explains also why Elsie had one, in the fact that she has all this trauma from being in an alternate timeline with the dark future and everything, and that her memories are kind of all over the place, and that the puka helps stimulate her brain and have her remember how things should be. And not just that, but also remember everything about the dark future. And that's how they explain why she never went right to Anna in the first place when we met her all the way back in the beginning of Destiny 1. Which I think is also interesting. But throughout the campaign, we actually helped to restore some of these monuments of certain Cloudstriders. That actually ends up leading to the exotic glaive mission, which I believe is I believe the exotic glaive is now disabled because it's doing way more damage than it should. Yeah, and we just learned more about Neomuna, as in the people, but Neomuna, the city. And it's actually very interesting and very cool. I'm also going to get into the seasonal content, and I will say Season of Defiance so far is off to a great start. I love the darker tone immediately. I hope they explain why the witness is taking prisoners, because they haven't really explained that yet. But they'll probably explain that over the 5 weeks that it will be available, or that the story will be going on for. But we get some really cool stuff between Amanda and the Crow, including an awesome audio dialogue, or audio log that we get, that you always get after you finish the story mission for the week. And just like kind of their mentality and what's going on. You also get a hilarious cutscene in that. So if you do your first time running the Defiant Battlegrounds, do not go to Orbit. Stay, because there is a cutscene at the end, and if you go to Orbit, you don't see the cutscene. I believe they actually ended up posting the cutscene on YouTube because so many people were leaving to go to Orbit and just not seeing it. It's really funny. It's really funny, and it's really worthwhile. I think it's kind of cute. But yeah, I will say it's looking up from now. Let's hope they can keep that momentum for the rest of the seasons. But anyway, that's all I got to say. How do you guys feel about everything with the seasons? I know I'm pretty sure all of you kind of feel like you got cheated out of Lightfall. And I'm sorry if I made you feel like it was completely worthless, because it's not. There are good points in it. But yeah, let me know how you feel about the seasonal content, and what do you think about the post-campaign, if you guys are even interested in that. And see you in the next video. Apagando las luces.